Welcome to Premier Ice. This is the full explanation video for explaining how the format works, but also explaining the thought process behind some of the decisions we've made. Alongside me today is Makuzin.
Hello. So our vision is to create a league that takes the competitive aspect seriously. This means we won't do any silly gimmicks, and every decision we make will be to try to aid the competitiveness and make sure that your dedication is valued in this league.
One of the goals of this league is to last on and on into the future, and so in order to be able to do that, we have to kind of keep a low maintenance. Don't conflate like low maintenance with low quality. We're still going to put a lot of effort into this league to get things running. However, this is like very different than All-Stars was, whereas All-Stars had a set start date and an end date, and the goal was to make it as high quality as possible. So seasons will mirror the seasons of the Northern Hemisphere, and we'll end up having 6 races for each season. This means around 6 races for each 13 weeks. Do you think it would be a good idea to maybe do the 6 races within 10 weeks and then have like a 3-week break or something in between seasons? Or
Yeah, that's like my plan, kinda. So we have small breaks between. Generally like a 3-week gap, I think.
Yep. 2 or 3 week gap at the end, just depending on how exactly the whole scheduling works out. We're going to be, instead of naming the seasons like season 1, season 2, we're going to be doing it kind of like how Trackmania does it. And so like the first season of Premier Ice will be called Premier Ice Spring 2024. The next one. Ooh, this is a good one.
Oh.
Do you want to take it, Makuzin?
Yeah, I'm preparing myself.
Oh, he's going to go hard.
So starting out this league, we already bring a few new concepts and like trying to push the limits of competitive racing. But of course, we're not going to stop. Like we want to continue improve. And this league is going to have many seasons. So like between seasons, we want to keep it fresh and keep improving. Which also means that like your feedback is very important for us to continuously improving the league.
Yeah. All right. So the qualifying format will be standard qualifying is what I've been calling it because it's the way we've done qualifying for a long time. There will be a set amount of time, and over that period of time, each driver has to attempt to drive the fastest lap that they can. Also, loneliness will be enabled, and so drivers will not be able to interact with each other. Hopefully, having a clear track will get drivers roughly to where they're... What am I even trying to say?
We let drivers reach their potential without being hindered or blocked.
Right, exactly. That's a good way to put it. The results of qualification will determine not only the grid order, but will also determine what race they get into. The race format, we're going to have separate races. We're splitting drivers up into separate races. And in like this spring 2024 season, we're going to attempt to split it every single race, as opposed to trying to create like bigger races. For example, after qualifying, maybe the top 15 get into race A and the top 10 get into race B. And then we'll end up hosting race B first and then race A. If we get enough drivers so it makes sense to do a race C, we'll end up doing that.
Some background to why we chose this format is because we want it to be scalable with the amount of people who want to join. So we want to be able to scale with a lot of people joining the league and participating. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to exclude anyone from racing. So like if you qualify, you're going to be allowed to race as well. And it's quite important.
Pit stops will just be a drive through the pit lane kind of deal. There will be no like pig stops, and you won't have to drive into pit boxes. This was done just to, hit, or if we get new drivers coming into this league in the future, we want to keep it simple. Also, we feel that competitively, we're trying to test out and find who's the best boat racer, and doing pig stops isn't a measure of skill, or isn't a good measure of how skilled you are at actual boat racing. The scoring system can be seen on the screen and also in the rule book, and as you can also see, there's going to be 2 mulligans. So we confirmed earlier that we're going to aim for 6 races with 2 mulligans. I guess I can sort of explain the reasoning behind why we chose 6 races. It was kind of my own suggestion. as well as like just what feels sort of right. I remember in off season 2, I was excited, like I was really excited for about 5 races, and then that excitement for each race started to drop off after race 5. And so we felt like, okay, if we host 5 races and each of those races is like, exciting part, people are actually motivated to do it. And then in the 6th race, be the finale race, it seemed like a good number. We're choosing to do 2 mulligans. It minimizes the cost of like missing a race. We don't want to force people to show up too much. 2 mulligans over 6 races is like a higher amount of mulligans per race than other leagues. However, we felt that 2 mulligans would be good because, technically, if somebody wins the first 4 races, there's no way they can lose, and so they don't even need to show up for the other stuff. However, they can't win 3 and win the league, right? So they would need to win over half to guarantee themselves a win, which seems kind of fair. I guess another question I could answer is, these points are not for every race. They're not for race A, B, and C. This isn't like BRWC. If we're talking like, okay, race A, for example, may have the top 15 drivers, and race B may have the next 10, that would mean that like race A would score points in positions 1 through 15, and race B would score points places 16 to 25. And so basically the winner of race B can't score more than the last place person of race A. That's how it works. There's only one leaderboard for Premier Ice. We have decided that there will be teams. There will be teams of up to 3. Teams of 2 will be allowed to exist as well, because even if you have a team of 3, only the top 2 drivers for each team can score. This helps alleviate sort of the pressure on that third driver to always perform. You just need your top 2 drivers to perform. And now I did get a question yesterday on how would that third driver not being counted affect the individual standings. And the answer is it doesn't. The Constructors' Championship is going to be calculated completely separate from the individual championship. So even if there's a third driver for the team and their points don't count towards the team because they were that third driver, the driver would still be able to score points for themselves in the individual championship. Teams also won't have an influence on qualification. The qualifying will straight up be like the top X amount of drivers make race A and the top Y amount of drivers make race B. And then, if needed, the next top Z amount of drivers will make race C. Oh, also had to add, there's going to be 2 mulligans for the team as well. So we're going to keep track of how many points each team scores in one weekend, or one race. So maybe race 1, team A scores 47 points. Race 2, team A scores 43 points. And then the rest of the races, they score 50 and more. So they have 4 more scores that are above 50. So the lowest 2 points for the team were 47 and 43. We're going to take out those 2 as the same way we're taking out points for the individual. We might get some questions about that, but close enough. So what types of tracks will we be using? There will be a preference towards unique tracks and tracks that aren't overused. We want to keep the calendar feeling fresh, and we may even do this at the slight sacrifice of what is the absolute best racing track. No, this one's not confirmed to be the finale track, don't worry. This is just something I scribbled up in 1 minute. There, you can also expect maybe some 3D tracks. However, they're probably not going to have major elevation or anything. The tracks will be announced and released 1 week before the race. However, the entire season schedule, all the dates for it will be confirmed at the beginning of the season. Content, We would love to see people make content around, whether that be shorts or videos or even live streams around Premier Ice. In terms of official content for the league, there isn't any plans to be any unless we get people to do it. And so if you would like to be that person who makes official Premier Ice content, you can contact us and we can discuss. And I think that's it. Any questions can be directed towards us in the Discord.